All right. Well, we got a 60-degree day in January of Colorado. Now, we're in the high mountain desert, so it's a little warmer here than the rest of the state. We're still sitting about 4,600 feet. So, and we have had some chilly days. We've had some, well, now we have a warm day. When I say chilly, I'm talking 3 degrees. We went on like a consecutive, I didn't get above 20. It was awful out here. It is like spring weather right now, and I am absolutely amped for that. So, without further ado, I'm going to list something that I've been having requests on since I bought this place in 2018. When I bought this yard, there were some vehicles that were left over. There are probably about 40 out here of the non-Jeep stuff you see along this row here. About 40 of these. It looks like a lot more cars here. There's really not that many. There's 55 in total. About 40 of those were here. So, and most of them are modern, just whatever, right? But there are some diamonds in the rough out here. I actually just sold one this morning, an old C10 that we had. I came down from Wyoming. Really appreciate that. People showing up when they say they're going to show up. So, most stuff we sell is Jeep stuff. We have 7 acres. We are known for rust-free parts. And we sell from the 60s mainly, sometimes earlier, but mainly the 60s all the way up to 06. And we get into some newer stuff, but not very often. It really like our bread and butter on the CJs, YJs, TJs, LJs, XJs, WJs, ZJs, that kind of stuff. So, okay. But some, let's see, there's a K5 out here somewhere right there. Grill's really good shape. Some old Ford trucks, not this old, but yes. And I know that's not what you came here to see, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. We're parts breakers, literally. We break down vehicles and sell what we're really known for around the country. Been doing this since '84. Been doing it personally for 21 years. Is our frames and our tubs, but mainly on our Jeeps. So I knew this was out here, and I've had a lot of interest, but it was buried literally in rows and rows. So I finally kind of cleaned all this out and kind of unstuck everything and had the chance to get out there and get this guy. So this is a short bed Dentside Ford truck, and it has had, looks like somebody started a restoration on it and just never finished, because the frame looks like it might have been painted. But you know what? With where we're at, and as clean as our CJ frames and our TJ, YJ frames are, this very well might just be factory paint on this thing. So it's kind of hard to say, because any of the places that is missing, you know, bare paint and got a little oxidation is the parts that were kind of sitting in the ground. So, but everything else looks really, really nice. So, and then I know everybody was wondering, you could barely see the corners because they were kind of in this adobe crap we have out here. It's got a little filler in it. I'm going to show you everything on it. It's going to be probably about a 20-25 minute video. And you won't see probably one of these ever in this yard again. Not that we don't go out and buy stuff like this, but we really just, unless it wanders in through the door or it's already sitting here, Jeeps really is what we're known for. So, all right, so I'll go over the bottom of it here first, because I'm going to put it down, show you the top here once I do that. And what you're buying is a frame and a cab. What else you're getting is just, I'm throwing in. So I'm not going to take the dash out. It's got a complete dash in there. It's got a heater box, steering column, gauge, who knows if they work, climate control, steering box, I think is in it. There's a few things in it. So those are freebies. So if you call and ask me to remove them because to save some money, I'm not going to do it. Okay? Because I'm not selling you that stuff. You're getting that stuff. If you don't want it, you can pay us to take it off. I don't know why you do that, but you know, to each his own. As far as weight goes for shipping something like this or hot shotting it, whatever we do on it, we do. By the way, we do that. Matter of fact, the majority of our stuff goes out east or overseas. So if that's something you're interested in, it's definitely something we can help you with. It does not, you okay, Tomers? It does not increase the cost by having it heavier. Matter of fact, this is what they call a freight dimensional quote when they do these. And so the heavier it is, it usually is the less expensive. The reason is because it takes up a ton of dimensional space in a truck. So the freight companies view it as it's almost a waste of space, because they have, you know, those trailers are equipped to haul a lot of weight. So this is a lot of air, they consider this. So if you need anything else, need Jeep parts, whatever, it actually, sometimes we can lower the cost just by getting these things a little heavier. I don't have any other parts for this thing, so this is what I got. All right, I'm gonna stop blabbing and I'm gonna go through this. Now I know some things about this truck. I don't know everything. So if there's a place I miss, well, I'm gonna try to go over this with a fine tooth comb with this video. I'll have some photos up of it, but it's gonna be on your due diligence to really watch this video. I know some people, can you get closer on this? It really just isn't possible. You're gonna see this thing like you were here in person with this video. And unfortunately, this video is gonna be what makes or breaks it for you and for us. So hopefully I do a good job on that. And part of that is just because we're such a busy shop. I try to do my due diligence when I list things and make sure that you see everything. If there's something I see holes in, something that I see, layers of steel, surface rust, integrity of steel that's compromised, I'm gonna tell you about it. Most of this is just oxidized metal. Okay, you got a little rough, but there's not anything lost here, no layers here, anything like that. This is all pretty good shape. Got a couple little dings in it, but nothing that doesn't appear to ever been wrecked or anything, at least as the frame goes. It's hard to say what the front of this thing looks like because we didn't get a clip with it. But nonetheless, I just washed it, so it's got some water coming off it still. The frame looks to me as a grade A. I don't see anything on this that's cracked, that's rotted, that's got chunks or layers lifting off of it whatsoever. So I would say you're going to get a very, very solid A+ frame here. Okay, and I would say the tub or the cab, I guess on this is a cab, is probably not far behind that. Anything old on our CJs, we grade our tubs a little differently, and I would assume when it comes to a cab like this, for the age of this truck and just the rarity of it, it's probably done the same way. There's going to be some things, but some of those things may be still worth the wait or worth the while on it, whereas some things may be a deal breaker. So you got a little bit of bubbling up here, okay, and it looks like about an inch and a half, okay, and it does look like there's filler in there. Somebody might have gone back in and done a little bit of filler in this. So we'll look at the back side of the cab. I'm pretty much done with the frame, okay. This is just some of the stuff I didn't get off. Did my best, but I didn't do it. I spent a good hour on this, just the frame alone, but I knew I'd miss some spots. Plus the ground is kind of muddy, so it's going to get a little splashback. But look at the rear support. So hopefully I got the frame covered. So we'll go next into this cab here. And really the cab, at least in my opinion, is probably more valuable than maybe this frame. Now, if you were interested in buying just the cab and not the frame, or just the frame, not the cab, the way I would propose this, and I'm gonna at least keep this for a while like this, is I would sell the frame first without the cab. I'm not gonna, if you want just the cab, you're gonna have to buy the frame if the frame's still around. And that's part of the reason is because, again, I'm trying to get back to my Jeeps and really narrow this yard down to focusing on that only. So I don't really want a frame sitting around, and I think that this will sell better with this cab. Now, I might be wrong. Some might call and say, hey, frame is where the money is on this thing, and yada yada yada. So who knows? I guess if that happens, then I'll find out here shortly. People are usually pretty good and honest with us. So it's got a little bit up metal here along the sides. It's hard to say if that just came from picking it up with forks over time. This is the very first time I've had this on my forklift. So where you see it being lifted here is where I got it. I tried to get out of the cab, although I got it a little bit on that corner there, but it's not been anything. So I think we're okay there. And this all feels pretty solid. Again, we're gonna go to the back of it here. It's hard to say, but I would imagine what happened here, and again, it's hard, it's probably years old in the making, but this is probably was dented up just from whatever coming up, and then they filled in with a little filler. Maybe they had a little rust there and they filled it in. It's a little hard to say, but overall, from what I've seen online for old Dentside, that looks like a pretty damn good corner. Okay, those rockers, they're excellent. There's a little hole up there, I'll show you that, and there's actually a little bit on the floor there as well, but overall I think that's in pretty good shape. So coming to the back side of it, looks better than the front side. I don't see any filler on this side. Doesn't look like it was bent up at all. Doesn't look like there are any holes back here. So whatever was there, whatever they were going after, looks like they did it from the surface side. And on Jeeps, I'm not sure if they did this on Fords or any other vehicle, but on Jeeps back in the day, they would take them from the factory to the dealership. The dealerships would take them to a body shop and would level them out. I don't know if that was same on these. And basically what they were doing is trying to get rid of the spot weld marks that would show up. So That looks excellent. This is like all solid up in these corners. No rot here. This is nice and solid, the skirting here. These channels that go up in here, real clean. They're not even real bent up. There's a couple little ones right through there, but nothing you couldn't straighten out. This is all underneath the rear seat or the front seat area here. Okay, and then back up and in this corner here, just excellent shape. The channels are in good shape. There's even some of this cabling left on this thing that actually looks like it's in workable condition. So a lot of freebies. We strip our Jeeps down to literally everything and sell every little piece because they're so hard to get. So somebody hopefully will be happy with the freebies, and if not, just throw it away. Okay, so here's your front floorboard. Okay, you got your tunnel here, tunnel cover. Where'd my little guy go? Thomas! Hey, don't go too far, buddy. He's my little man. Huh, buddy? I'll be quick, I promise. All right, so the center, I mean, it speaks for itself. I don't see anything you need here. But up through here, I seen when I was washing it, this was all solid, all nice, clean. Now right here, start getting a little bit of rust here, and actually a little bit of stick weld. You can see somebody has attempted something on that, maybe from the top. That would be my guess. So we'll take a closer look when I lower it and just see if they put a panel in. It doesn't appear a big panel was replaced, but they might have went in this area and replaced something. And from the top, you can kind of see a couple little stick welds there. Okay, those aren't factory. But all this looks really clean. And that, again, I mean, you're gonna have something, so you might as well have that. That's not too bad. Channel here again, nice, clean, straight all the way down, just like the other side was. Little mounts in good shape. A little bit maybe there bubbling up. And then I seen something. I'll look at this a little closer. We're up top. There's a little hole right there in that sill. The rest of that door sill looks excellent. I tried to get all the gasket off. There's a little bit of gasket here, but I don't see anything under there, so I'm not going to spend too much time pulling this stuff. It looks like it's in good shape. There's nothing through here. That cab corner, that's excellent shape. The rockers are, like I said, clean. It's even got a liner in it, a headliner. Now, I think that's a vinyl one or a hard liner. I was kind of careful when I sprayed it. I wouldn't tear it up because I thought that was probably factory. The visors are intact, they're torn. And then again, your dash. And I'll show you some of that, but we can, since we're getting a kind of a lower up in here. I mean, when you're buying something online, guys, first off, there's a ton of scams out there. I'm not going to tell you videos make or break an ad, meaning it's not a scam, but I am going to tell you that it is something to be said for somebody who spends some time and do videos. I've been doing videos for 20 years, so and it's paying off in droves now because people find our old videos all the time. All right, so and then they got this guy here. This is like a frame mount kind of bucket that comes down. I don't know what they call these guys. It's in pretty good shape. I didn't pull this off. I don't think there's any reason to. The rest of it looks solid, but right there, you can see it about an inch by 2.5 maybe. And definitely starting to get weak there. Doesn't look like it's collapsed around the bottom at all, but definitely starting to see little signs there. And then that floor is beautiful, nice, clean. Getting that channel all the way down, perfect. Look at that. Look, I mean, just for the age of this thing, you really got to look and go, wow. A lot of respect for whoever had this thing. And really took care of it. I mean, we've had it for a long time, but somebody's had it obviously before that. And yeah, I think that this frame, I thought maybe somebody had painted it one time. There's kind of that sheen on it, but I think this is just factory paint on it. It's just really good shape. Okay. Now, I don't know Fords very well, but this looks almost like a torsion bar setup or track. I don't know, something like that. So somebody might have to educate me there, but nonetheless, it is there and in good shape. And I think I showed you all this already anyway, but that firewall is absolutely beautiful. Down through here, super clean. Okay, I don't see anything. Even the hinges are on this thing and moving. I think they're all moving. Yeah, and they feel nice. They're not sloppy. Just the hinges alone, I bet there's some money in those things. Somebody will call and ask me to pull hinges, I guarantee it, because hinges always sell on these things. So, and you know what? If it sits for a while, we will start pulling it. But as I listed online, the price you see out there is going to include everything on it. I won't pull anything off, so you can expect. If I do start pulling stuff off of this thing, I'm going to have to redo this video, and I really don't want to have to redo this video. It's already long. So here's some filler here. Okay, little bit of hole. Let's see, focus. Right there, so about the size of a dime there. Looks like the cab got a little beat up at one time. A little hole right there too. And probably a dent there is what happened, and they went in and filled it and just didn't do a very good job prepping it. I imagine that this filler is actually kind of what caused this to rust, and that's what we see on CJs. But that's pretty straight still. I mean, it needs a little work, but you can see it didn't get up into the side of it. That's beautiful. Through there, that whole cab corner, excellent shape. Again, the rocker, the seal, all this. This is basically what you're not seeing on the other side. No holes there, excellent shape. No holes there, excellent shape. So, okay. And then again, here's that area there. And just absolutely beautiful. And not, again, nothing, although we see a little bit in there. Let's see if we can see anything. Nothing coming through on this side at all. So this is a little bit of a blind spot. I call this like a blind pocket, because you're not able to see from the other side, you know, what's going on. So there's always a chance there might be something in there. But again, I think for what it is, it's pretty damn clean. So, okay. There's your, I don't know what they call on the back of a cab, but lower rocker, same thing maybe. And this is what we were talking about earlier on CJs, that you can sometimes see when they go in, they literally, when they came out at the dealership, they would level all that out. And now a CJ tub that's got those marks in it is actually a very desirable tub. People don't want to see all that filler and leveled out, even though it might look a little good. There's a little ding right there in that cab, the back of it, and a couple little ones. There might be one right there. But overall, I think that's a dang good back of the cab too. So, all right, I think I got my photos already, so I'll go ahead and drop her down. The little boy's being patient as can be. He's really wanting ice cream. Problem is, it's nap time. And if I give that kid sugar, he won't go down for the rest of the night, and he'll be cranky tonight. Sometimes it's worth it though. They're only young once, right? He's my buddy. All right, so we're gonna look at the roof here. We're gonna look at the inside. I'm gonna put it down, get the tractor out of the way, get some nice photos of it, and then we'll go put it up at the upper house so she doesn't get messed with. Okay, so let's start at the very front and go to the firewall. Again, gearbox, master, the wiring that's left, the wiper arms, that's all stuff we would normally pull. It's all coming with it. I imagine these are probably where the hinges went. They're included as well. If we find out again, if I start pulling stuff, I'll redo the video. But for right now, and for at least the next, let's say 60 days, so 2 months, if it sits for that long, it's gonna be in the same shape it is now. Now, if you see this video 10 years down the road, and I still got something sitting out here, yeah, you bet your ass I'll be parting it out. And I don't want it sitting that long. But I have a feeling that ain't gonna happen. I've never had something sit in a yard ever for more than a few weeks usually. So, and I don't think this will be any different, especially for how many people came in and asked us about this thing. But it just was a pain to get to. So this cowl, I think that's what they call these, at least on a Jeep. This is beautiful. The vents are in clean shape. Even down inside of there, I don't see, there's a little bit of dirt, but I don't see any rust, no holes or anything like that. This is your actual dash. The pad itself is a little beat up, cracked and stuff, and I don't know if you fix these or if there's an overlayment here. But the actual, look at that, the actual dash itself, the metal piece, or maybe this is part of the cab here. This is all solid, no rust in that at all. And then, I know everybody's gonna wonder about this roof, so let's get up top on it. There's a little bit here I see. Look at that, paint. I thought maybe filler, but that's just paint. Just thick, old paint. And actually, you know what? Might be a little filler there. There's a little bit of a ding, I can feel it right there. So yeah, that's what they did. They went in and filled this in. And sometimes this old enamel paint's a little thick, but I don't think this is. I think that does have just a little ding right there. But look at the bare metal under there. Even lifting that up so easy, and there's absolutely nothing. That's how dry it is here. We do not use, people always ask, how come there's no rust there? Well, it's because we don't use salt on the roads. We're not by an ocean, okay? The seals are in good shape, or the rain guard, whatever they call these things. So yeah, a little bit of separation. I don't know if there was a little epoxy there at one time, or how they kind of made sure water didn't get down there. I'd imagine there's something to fill that in. But overall, that thing is beautiful. We have that one ding there, and I don't think there's another ding on the top of that guy. I tried to get it pretty good, but this one still got a little bit of dirt up here, just dusty more or less. So, but the window frame, look how clean that is. All the way around, and that is a notorious place to rust. Just about everything. Got a little bit right there on the corners up through here. but nothing down where your glass actually sits, which is the key. If it gets into this, there's a little spots, and I'll go over there and see it right there, maybe a little bit, but nothing a wire wheel or something won't clean up there. There we go. Palmers! Bubba! I tell you what, Houdini over here, he will vanish quickly. And then my heartbeat starts going up. Where did he go? There he is. Stay where I can see you, buddy. You want a muffin? There's a muffin up there. You can have my muffin. All right, so since we did that one, let's talk about the rear glass. Okay, same thing. We want it nice and clean. We don't want to see anything more than a wire wheel or a little Scotch-Brite would take off. I mean, I don't think we can get better than that. That's pretty dang clean. So, excellent shape. The floors, we'll get inside of it here in a second. A little bit of water from where I washed it, but look at that. It's just absolutely beautiful. Might get a little bit of rust coming on the seams there, but nothing much. I mean, if it might be there, and I would definitely get it treated, but Now, I do have the bench seat for this. You've probably seen it over there. And I was going to just list that separately, especially because the brackets on those are hard to get. But we'll see. I'll put that in the ad. Since I'm not really doing it as part of this video, I may show it at the end here as available. But we'll go from there. There's where your gasket sat. I pulled all that off. That all looked real clean. I didn't scrape off the glue or anything. Okay, and then your floors, little surface, but no major, nothing. There's a little bit right there. Thomas, what's wrong? What? I can't hear you. You got a mouthful of something. What's in your mouth? Spit it out. It's okay to spit it out. What's wrong with it?
It tastes weird.
It tastes weird? Well, don't eat it. There's some water on the hood. You want some water? Here's some water, buddy. Here's some water, buddy. Oh, you got some there. Okay, there's water up here too if you need some. Man, it is nice. I was supposed to go ride my dirt bike, but I have pneumonia right now, and I'm coming out of it though. Got some prednisone, and today has been the best day so far. It was a rough couple weeks there, but my kiddos got RSV, and then I got that, and then that went to my lungs, screwed up my asthma. So, but you know, I own the shop, so you just keep going. Try to set an example for everybody else to show up even when they're not sick. Actually, I have a great crew out here. I do not have any issues. We've had issues in the past, but right now we have probably the most solid crew we've ever had, and pay these guys well. Want to keep them around. Okay, that dash looks pretty dang good. I mean, it's got a glove box in it. That does not open. Might be jammed. Not gonna mess too much with it. Okay, but it's there. Tunnel's there again. So where I was here is showing you that. Now we didn't see anything on the bottom, so this is just the top layers are starting to come up. Doesn't need to be cut out. It's hard to say. The bottom looked pretty clean. I'd probably say no, but I wouldn't probably do it with any kind of patch panel. Would I get it cleaned up? Yeah. This is probably a perfect tub for a sandblaster. It doesn't need it. I mean, I've seen a lot worse, but if you're doing a restoration like this, I mean, would you really go down to this point and not blast something like this? And are you going to have some holes that pop up like there? Yeah, probably. But overall, what you're working with is solid, and patches on something that's, you know, at most maybe $50 is a lot easier than gooping stuff up, and then especially if this ends up somewhere coastal or I can't imagine somebody doing restoration driving this thing in the winter, but who knows? Okay, and then this is right where we seen that little bit of rust, and it looks like they put filler here to kind of smooth out whatever they didn't want us to see. So definitely a little filler here. It looks like they kind of spread it out more than they needed to. I would imagine the damage we've seen is in this area here, or possibly down here, because it's just a little thicker there, where it looks like they hid the stick welds that I was showing you from the bottom. So my washer usually does pretty good at pulling stuff like that, but right now it's getting a little weak. So, and it's going to be what it is. That's exactly one of the reasons that I would suggest blasting something like this. Now, I'm going to say this because we do offer services around here. Okay, and I begrudgingly say this would have to be based on an order. But if somebody wanted us to get this sandblasted and epoxy primered, that's something we could definitely do. The epoxy primer is there just to prevent it from really rusting out any further. It's not there to cover up anything, and we don't have to do it, but it will flash rust pretty quickly. And flash rust is not bad, but you'll be chasing your tail through it. So it's nice to get that on it. This would be a pretty intricate sandblast just because there's some stuff still left over. I would say we'd have to have some labor to pull all this stuff, and we could definitely still include it and give it back to you. But I wouldn't want to get too deep into that, and I might even just let you directly deal with the sandblaster we deal with and kind of tell them what you're wanting to do. And then if you wanted us to strip something down, we could do that. But this floor is in excellent shape. Okay, this little guard, I don't know what this was. If this is factory, this rubber mat. I'll leave it in here. My guess is it was to cover the hole up there. But that all looks excellent shape. The fuel pedal here, that's in pretty bad shape. I don't think that's in good anymore. Maybe. Okay, you got those on the Jeep world is worth a ton, so who knows what this thing is. Even got a harness back in there still. And again, that column looks in pretty good shape. The wheel's pretty beat up, but for what it is, don't hurt your foot kicking that rock, buddy. I guess he's got to learn anyway. All right, well, I think that's it. I'm gonna get some photos of it. Like I said, with the tractor out of the way, and hopefully not get her any muddier than she already was. And then I'll put her up on my upper lot up there where that trailer is, and I got all our tubs. Put them on some railroad ties so she doesn't get muddy again. Keep her as clean as we can. They'll have a little, if we get a little rain, a little splash. This stuff kind of splashes up and speckles things, but that's it. I mean, if it sat out here in the mud for as long as it did and it didn't rot away, then I think we're in good shape. Like I said, I don't expect it to last very long. If you want a shipping quote on it, I can give you a rough number off the top of my head. Probably get this guy to the East Coast for about $1,500, one of our hot shots. That will obviously change, especially if fuel starts rising. But it might be less than that too. Hot shotting is really like this. It really depends on patience. So if you got a lot of time, somebody's deadheading, they might be willing to pick it up just to not to have to haul all the way back. If it pays for their fuel back, they might be willing to do it. If you need it done tomorrow, you want it done, get it out there ASAP, yeah, you're gonna usually spend a little bit more on it. But we have reasonable rates with our hot shotters, and there's no reason that I think that they wouldn't pick this up. And as far as what we would do to protect it, if it was on a hot shot, you don't have to do much, just have to find a good hot shot. I wouldn't want to crate this, but it's possible to crate it. If it was going international, we would have to crate it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna be cheap to crate something this big. We'd almost have to bust it down and do the cab only. So I don't know what, this is just extra tar or something they had there, it looks like. It's hard to say, but. Okay. All right, guys. I didn't even really introduce myself in the beginning like I normally do. My name's Jeremy. I own the company. It's partsbreakers.com. Jeeps Unlimited is a legacy name. It's 303-666-9020. Jeremy, Jeremy, at partsbreakers.com is my email. I'll put this up on Facebook, Craigslist, our website, and YouTube, of course. And then we'll go from there, see what happens. So I appreciate it, and hopefully you're having such a warm, welcoming day like we are. Look at that sun. You can't beat that, man. It's bright. I am in layers right now. As like I said, I was gonna go ride, and I couldn't be happier right now. So. All right, have a great Sunday, and I guess it's February 1st. No, is it? I think it's the 2nd today. The Super Bowl's next week, so. All right, 2025. Thank you, guys.